Once again, I have another beer from Blackburn Beer Company. What's up, everybody? It's the Ginger Yeti, and I'm checking in from home. I don't know how many beers I bought from Blackburn that night I was up there, but it seems like I must have bought a ton of them. Because every time I look in my fridge, I find another one, and I know I reviewed a lot of them on the road. So if you just tuned into the channel, on the Bon Clock tour, I had a day off in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And the wonderful Shane from Shane's Craft Beer Reviews picked me up, took me to his house. His amazing wife fed me dinner. Then we went out to Blackburn Beer Company, had a bunch of beers. The Alkanauts showed up. Chris from Off the 10th showed up, a bunch of their friends. It was a great time. While I was there, I picked up a pile of beers. And this is another one of the beers I bought. So this is the Fireside Lager from Blackburn Beer Company. According to Untappd calls this a winter ale, so we'll find out. Here's a picture of the can. It's got like a campfire on it. Blackburn's an awesome brewery up in Niagara Falls. You definitely have to check it out if you're ever in Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. On the back of the can here, it says, in terrible writing, it's brown on gold in microprint, which is really hard to read. Brewed by Blackburn, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, established in 2020. Fireside Lager. Even with the flashlight, this is hard to read. Designed for crisp winter days and warm nights by the fire, this dark German-style lager has a nice balanced malt-forward body with hints of vanilla, oak, and bourbon. I guess that's bourbon. The deep copper hue changes color with the flicker of the fire, and as the beer warms, more and more flavors emerge. Cheers to you. Look, Blackburn, and any brewery out there that happens to watch this video, Blackburn, you're really good. You make awesome beers, but you need to have somebody look at your labels before you put them on beer cans. Because this is super, super hard to read in decent lighting with a flashlight. And I do enjoy reading the blurbs on the back. I'd like to know what it says, because you took the time as a brewery to put a blurb on the back, but that is almost impossible to read. You gotta have somebody look at these labels and be like, oh yeah, that writing's a little too small, it needs something behind it so it's easier to read. And you gotta think, a lot of people buying this aren't sitting in the best of light when they want to read it. So please make sure your labels are easy to read. There is a date on this, and it is something which is also hard to read. Packaged on November 17th of 2025. Thank you for at least putting packaged. I love having dates. I'm glad you put packaged on it. But again, you got to make these blurbs more easy to read on the back, especially for us guys that are drinking, sitting around different places, because I love the blurbs, but this is almost impossible to read. Well, I've ranted enough about the blurbs, so let's get on into the beer. Gotta make sure this top's cleared off, because unfortunately I bought a big pile of beers the other day from Halftime Beverage, and I'm a dummy and never had a thermometer in my fridge. And I don't know whether I knocked the controls or there's just too much in the fridge, but a bunch of beers froze and one of them blew up. And there's still beer on the top of some of these. I don't want that to contaminate my beer when I'm drinking it or reviewing it. So on Untappd, this gets a 3.82, and there were only 22 check-ins. Obviously, there's nothing on Beer Advocate. Get this poured into the glass here. Hopefully people haven't tuned out after my rant about the writing on the back of the can. Oh, that whole can fit in that big glass there. All right. Get a nose on it. Hashtag dip your beak in it. There's a little bit of something. It's almost... God, I gotta sniff that again. It's almost like a charred chocolate scent, but it's so subtle that my nose just can't pick it up. My nose is terrible from all the years of allergies and things. I'm not the best at picking up all the aromatics off of beers, especially when they're super subtle like this. As far as color, That is a brownish auburn color. Can't see through it. Kind of hazy. Looks like a good winter beer for sure. Got about a finger's worth of copper colored head. And it's mid-June. What's a better time for a winter beer? Cheers, everybody. I don't think I mentioned, but this is 5% alcohol. Just realized that. Light bodied. And there's a lot going on in this beer. The flavors are very kind of muted, but there's a lot going on here. This is a much more complex beer than you would expect from a lager. It starts out almost flavorless. And then you get a little bit of hoppy bitterness, but then there's this kind of charred caramel, vanilla, smoky bourbon kind of thing that's super, super mellow, but you can pick it up and taste it. And it's still kind of lingering well after the finish. This is a surprisingly complex beer for being a lager. All those flavors, that vanilla, that bourbon, a little bit of like smoky charred caramel. It's very subtle. I use that word all the time, subtle. But it's very subtle. It's very delicate. But it's there. And it's tasty. Now, maybe if I got this fresh, because again, this was canned, packaged in 2025, this is 2026, those flavors might have been more pronounced, but this is still a very tasty, easy to drink beer. Excuse me again. I would definitely buy this again. I would actually give this, I'd give this 1.5 horns up. Man, I'm just going to burp through all this all of a sudden. This is really tasty. And it's tasting in a very delicate, muted way that you could crush a few of these and still enjoy them. You wouldn't get sick of the flavor. It doesn't have any of that cloying flavor, that punch in the mouth flavor. You could session this beer really easily. 5% ABV, you'd be all right. This is a really, really well done beer. If you ever make it to Niagara Falls, please go to Blackburn Beer Company. Buy this beer from Blackburn Beer Company. Their food looked amazing. I didn't get to try it this time. Next time I'll definitely try it. Let me know down below in the comments if you've been to Blackburn Beer Company. I know my good friends Shane from Shane's Craft Beer Review, Ray and Paul from the Alkanauts, and Chris from Off the 10th have been there. Make sure you go check out their channels. I'll link their channels down below in the description. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, embrace the adventure.